I've seen it. I've seen what Canadian markets can do. I've seen what capital markets can do for innovation, especially in these early stages. This is AI. We have ties to Stanford. And I think at a very attractive valuation. I'm sure everybody's heard that clinical trials take 10 years. Every month that it isn't there is lost revenue on the table. And that's what Redwood does, is it shortens the timeline to scale a drug, to get it to market, to get it to people that need life-saving therapies.
So let's say, for example, you have an idea for a new drug, any sort of disease. The problem is there is genuinely hundreds of thousands of ways you could make it. You can think of it like Lego, like how do I stick the building blocks together to make a larger piece? You need to be thinking, how do I make this drug? How much is this going to cost? How quickly can I do this? Are there safety concerns? How much of it can I make? You can make a gram of it, you can make a milligram of it. But if you have a success, you need to make a kilogram, you need to make a ton, you have a blockbuster on your hands. This is worth billions of dollars now. Now you're a chemist, right? You've got all this knowledge in your head. You've been given 2 weeks to write a report. You can't write every single possible answer out. That's going to take you too long. A human chemist can come up with a handful of drugs over the course of a few months.
And then how fast is it with Redwood?
We can literally do this in seconds. A large part of the team at Redwood, we've worked with each other for a long time.
We spent probably the past 2 decades in clinical trial development and felt that there's quite a need for doing something much bigger in AI.
We saw the need for applying advanced artificial intelligence to areas that are really quite challenging for drug development, areas that we've been working in. Hence, we've got Redwood AI that began at Stanford University. As you can imagine, Stanford is a unique environment, creating a culture where startups are encouraged and students and faculty collaborate, and many of them are household names now. So this is yet again one of those startups that has begun in the Bay Area.
We've had commercial success before. This isn't just an academic group that's got a cool academic solution to an academic problem. We have everyone from pure data scientists. They worked for PayPal before, they've worked at these classic tech companies, all the way across to the chemists. There's, I think, across the team, 800, 900 plus publications in all of the top medical journals you could imagine. Won awards for the work that we've done in the scientific space before. And then to top it all off, we've got folks with great experience of public markets who have worked at the Toronto Stock Exchange.
This group was so good that I actually left my job at TSX to come to the issuer side because I couldn't not be a part of this story.
We have sold companies before. We understand how to build up these relationships with partner organizations, with the biopharmaceutical partners in this space. Really, that's made it so much quicker, and you can see that in the results we've had. We looked at an anti-cancer drug that's been on the market for quite a while now. It's called gefitinib. We gave it to our software, and within 15 seconds it came up with the exact same pattern, and it had never seen that before.
It was the same patentable route. It was amazing what they were able to do. It's absolutely remarkable.
The model was able to, in 15 seconds, come up with something that took years of intensive chemists and a lot of money to come up with.
Ironically, the thing I'm most excited about Redwood is be able to put me out of a job for my consulting.
The contract manufacturing market is actually quite slow to adopt AI. They haven't used it for what is a core part of their service, which is chemistry synthesis. To get to the point of 100 million revenue downstream, we need to capture a fraction upon a fraction of the market. If we're thinking about large pharma, you have a staff of 50 chemists. Clearly, many of them will have synthesis capabilities.
They can do the chemistry, but this is an extra tool in their belt to help things go faster and cheaper and more efficient.
If you've got a patent for a drug which could potentially sell for billions of dollars a year, every month off of that timeline is a significant earnings loss for the company. If you're able to turn this into a day's task, you can save millions of dollars.
And if your competitors are doing the exact same thing, and one of them is using Redwood AI's tech and you aren't, and therefore it takes you an extra several months to bring a drug to market, the opportunity cost of not using this is too high. Time could be life-changing here. It could be life-saving in this case.
Like for me to be able to optimize the cost, I have to individually look up the cost of every single chemical. And if you could actually incorporate that into one AI software, it's incredibly powerful.
The really, really nice thing about this as an opportunity is the scaling is absolutely titanic. So in agrochemicals, if you can save a fraction of a cent on a kilogram of product, you can save millions of dollars. In the material sciences, there are significant advantages to the same value proposition that you have in the medical industry. You could apply this for educational technology, so getting this into universities as part of a training module.
I would love to have this software for my laboratory, for my undergraduate students I teach. Yeah, it'll be useful for every institution, every college, which is exactly the same across the entire world.
If you look at the market cap of educational technology, it's extraordinarily large. If you look at agrochemicals, enormous. If you're looking at material sciences, huge. There's a lot of potential for that scalability.
It will change the standard of care. It will change the industry standard for the world, and it will have an incredibly net positive result on the world, because this is the most incredible product we have ever worked with. And that is really exciting.